Level 100, the pinnacle of power for a Pokemon. Very few Pokemon ever reach this level. Today, not only did I get 1,000 Pokemon to level 100, but I traded them all away. Why? Because I'm stupid. Phase 1 of this operation was to get 1,000 Pokemon, and if you know anything about this channel, you know it had to be Rowlets. So I gathered up 1,000 Rowlet eggs. This wasn't that bad because I could just work on other videos while my Pokemon were breeding. Once I had them all, I would hatch these on stream, and getting immense streamer luck in the process. Because somehow, I found 6 shiny Rowlets in 1,003 eggs. And with my first one overall, that's 7 out of 1070 eggs. That's like top 1% or 0.1% luck or something. The Rowlets just know that I'm a huge ambassador for their roundness. The legends speak of how round they are. But getting these 1,000 Pokemon in total took about 20 hours to breed and hatch them all. You know what doesn't take 20 hours? You hitting that subscribe button. Come on, just do it, please. Maybe I gotta whip out the analytics on you. If you want to see more dumb stuff in Pokemon, you won't regret it. But you guys have likely seen these I traded 1,000 Pokemon videos already, so I wanted to spice things up, making them all level 100. So thus begun Phase 2, training them all. Now for those of you who aren't aware, training something to level 100 takes a long time, and it's what takes this from doing something stupid to doing the definition of insanity. It's obviously the best it's ever been with experience candies and all of that, but it still takes a long time if that's the only thing you're doing. Think of it this way, if it took you 1 hour to get a Pokemon to level 100, which is pretty reasonable by previous gen standards, then it would take you 1,000 hours to get 1,000 Pokemon to that level. But I had a secret weapon, the Blissey Terra Raid event. The Blissey Raids have arguably been the best event so far, as it let you easily stockpile on experience candies and Terra Shards to easily change your Terra types. And if you don't go online after receiving a raid event, they won't go away, allowing you to continuously farm them. So for the past few weeks, when I haven't been working on videos, I have been grinding Terra Raids with Blissey for this video. The strategy I used for grinding these raids evolved over time. Initially, I would just go around to each Terra Den, defeating every Blissey event I saw. I would use either Koraidon or Iron Hands to make pretty quick work of them, but doing every single one had its drawbacks. If I didn't have a super effective move, then it took about twice as long. And there were also special versions of the Blissey Raids where you wouldn't get any candies at all. It would give you tons of Terra Shards, which obviously I didn't really care about here. So between those two things, it would take about 5 or 6 hours to get a full bag of candies. And you might wonder, how many Rowlets can you get to level 100 from max candies? And it's a lot less than you would think. 100? Maybe 75? 50? Well, with Rowlet needing about 1,060,000 experience, it only gets you about 30, give or take depending on how many of each variant specifically you have. But 5 or 6 hours to get 30 Pokemon to level 100 would make this take about 167 hours. Yikes. But this was all I really could even do at first. I couldn't even play on my second Switch at the time because the 2 save files I used for this have the same online account, and with my second Switch using the eShop version, it wouldn't allow me to play on both save files at the same time. So for the first 20 hours or so, I was suffering through doing these in the normal way. Still faster than doing non-event raids, but still kinda trash. But thankfully, after the first 130, I would move on to the second save file, which had the majority of the Rowlets, which makes the ones on my Violet save file with the OT as Trevor a little more rare, but this freed up my ability to use the second Switch. So I once again enlisted the help of my Rowlet only challenge save file. But at first I was still being an idiot, because I was still defeating every Blissey, but I was just doing it on 2 switches. If I had to guess, this would have me working at about 1.4 to 1.7 times efficiency. But after a little bit of doing this, I decided I would go only after Steel, Rock, Normal, and Dark type raids for super effective hits and guaranteed one-shots, which did help step up the efficiency even more. But after going through hundreds and hundreds of Blissey raids, it was only a matter of time before I got lucky on one. There may or may not be a somewhat special chance you read, right? Genuinely was curious, but this is a shiny. When I found this one, I was just kind of chilling on my bed watching YouTube on my phone, only even playing on one Switch at the time. But then I looked up from the video and I was like, wait, this one's shiny. So with my second Switch, I figured I would catch a few to give away to you guys. And in doing so, that's when it hit me. I was doing the double Switch strategy all wrong. What I should have been doing was finding a known good Terra raid on the first Switch, one that gave me tons of candies from the raid. Then once I found it, join that raid on the second Switch, then reset it and do the raid again. Because doing it this way would guarantee a large amount of candies every single raid. So with this new strategy in hand, I was going to start blasting through these level ups. One of the better raids that I could consistently find was getting 12 XL candies, 10 large candies, and 2 or 4 rare candies. But even with that being a crazy good raid, it still wasn't that fast. It would take 2 or 3 raids on average to get enough candy for one Rowlet. And this would allow me to get 36 Rowlets to level 100 every 3 hours or so. So if I was really focusing up on this, I would get about 4.5 boxes done per day. And that's if I was devoting all of my attention to this. If I was mildly distracted, the rates would suffer quite a bit. Of course though, I couldn't keep laser focused for thousands of Blissey raids. But all in all, I would estimate that it took about 120 hours to get all of the Rowlets to level 100. Combine that with the 20 hours to get them all, and we're at 140 hours. And then the surprise trading itself would then take another 15 to 20 hours or so. But how did Phase 3, the surprise trading, go? I did all of my trading from April 16th to April 18th. I did a few boxes each on the 16th and 17th, but the majority of the boxes were traded on the 18th. Surprisingly, it took 64 trades in to get my first illegitimate Pokemon. Even if it is possible to obtain, if you don't get it legit, then they're not legit. And only 2 Pokemon after that, I got a 6IV Shiny Ditto. Totally legit, for sure. I don't hate genned Pokemon, I don't care if people use them honestly, but I hate these trade bots. I put all of my time and effort into breeding and training up my Rowlets just for them to fall into the hands of a bot. It's annoying, and I'm just gonna release their Pokemon anyway. However, in between those 2 hacked Pokemon, I found something that was quite heartbreaking. A Paldea champion, Bellibolt, that was level 100 and hyper-trained. Like, why would you trade her away? Sabine, why did you do it? I also got a Paldea champion Japanese Tinkaton around 350 trades in. You feel guilty getting these kinds of Pokemon because they obviously were cared about to some degree, and you wonder if it was a misclick, but the trade finished immediately so they couldn't cancel. And you know that I'm probably not going to use it myself, so you just feel bad for these Pokemon. But you feel bad for the trainer when you find that your Pokemon that was traded to you has the chosen one mark. Florine traded me this Tandemaus, and it has the Destiny mark. So happy birthday, Florine, and thank you for the French compagno. Speaking of other languages, here's something interesting. It took 248 trades to get 1 Pokemon from every language. The least common languages were easily Korean and Italian, with less than 1% of the trade Pokemon being that language. But even with that being the case, crazily enough, I was able to find all 9 languages in one box. This probably happened around 2 p.m. Eastern Time in America. Getting Korean, Italian, and Chinese traditional all at the same time is kinda hard. But the language rarity is kinda thrown off by the hacked Pokemon, because half of the Korean Pokemon I got were hacked Dittos. So if you took those out, there were barely any Korean Pokemon. And over time, the frequency of illegitimate Pokemon would grow. At one point I got 4 in one box. It was not a good time. But easily my most heartbreaking moment was when I traded out a shiny Blissey only for it to go to a bot. I was in my Discord server letting them know I was about to surprise trade this, so maybe one of them could get it, but when I saw who I was trading with, I was devastated. At least they give these Pokemon hold items, so I got 15 Master Balls and probably about 15 ability patches from these hacked Pokemon, and somebody gave their Fuecoco a Moo Moo milk for some reason. I can't really explain that one though. But once I was done with all the trades, it was time for Phase 4, data collection. The diversity of Pokemon I got from these 1003 trades that I did was actually crazy. I collected data on the number of Pokemon of an evolution line that I got, how many were nicknamed, hacked, marked, and how many were in April Balls, as well as keeping track of the overall language statistics. Let's go ahead and start with those. To no one's surprise, the most common language was English with 645 trades. The second most common was Japanese with 152 trades, Spanish in third with 73, German in fourth with 50. Chinese Simplified was twice as common as Chinese Traditional, and Korean and Italian were tied for last, but again, half of the Korean Pokemon were hacked Dittos. And 42 of the 1003 trades were a hacked Pokemon, coming from various different websites as well as a less obvious Twitch promotion. Combining for 20 of the 42 hacked Pokemon were Ditto, Gardevoir, and the top two being Charizard and a Cyndaquil or Typhlosion. And sadly, I got more hacked Pokemon than I did marked Pokemon. In total, I got 35 marked Pokemon, some of those being the hacked Pokemon themselves. For the higher rarity marks, we had Meryl, the Radiant, What Am I? The Chipper, Compagno, the Chosen One, Gaojiabao, the Giddy, Magikarp, the Stern, and Chevrum 1, the Arrogant. For the Buizel and Go-Goat, you definitely feel something when they have a nickname. Some people, including myself, don't really care about marks if they're not on a shiny, but if it's one of the higher rarity marks, then maybe that changes things, who knows. But in total, there were 76 Pokemon with a nickname, and this does include the ones pointing you to a website. But here were my favorite nicknames. 2 Sprigatito were named, one was just a comma, and the other was Boy. A Lechonk was named Ham Sammy, a Tarantula was named Jilpid. There was Boba, the Hoppip, Pika No, the Palmy, Gustavo, the Vivian, Pooper, the level 100 Wooper, Morphonite, the female Curlio, which the guy caught in a Terra raid hoping it would be male, I'm assuming, Ford Cruller, the Umbreon, Doug Sparse, the Terra Ground Dunsparce, Doodoo and Rash, Big Damage, the Mudsdale, and Big Boy, the Iron Thorns. Special names just add so much personality to the Pokemon, and so do special Pokeballs. I received 83 Pokemon in April Balls, 58 of which coming from exactly who you would think. The starters you were able to get from Terra Raids, EVs, and Hisui and Zoroa, because there was that one trick you could do to get it in a special Pokeball. So I guess now I have a wide variety of options for my next Masuda method hunt. But I'm sure you're probably wondering what were the most common Pokemon from these trades. Here is the top 10 evolution lines. At number 10, it's a tie between Mankey, Igglybuff, and Azuro, getting 14 trades each. Tied for number 9 with 15 trades each is Rowlet, Tarantula, Pawmi, and Routes. At number 8 is Fuecoco with 21 trades. At number 7, we have Hisui and Zoroa with 22 trades, 10 being in April Balls. At number 6, Froakie with 26 trades. But only 5 April Balls. What's going on there? At number 5 is Lechonk, piling in 29 trades. Lechonk was the most normal Pokemon here, with only Ham Sammy being anything really special. At number 4, we have Charmander with 30 trades. At number 3, to nobody's surprise, is Sprigatito with 32 trades. Also, to nobody's surprise, we have Eevee at number 2 with 38 trades. 10 in April Balls. And finally, at number 1, with a grand total of 44 trades, we have Cyndaquil, getting 17 of them in April Balls. Obviously, it's getting skewed because the Typhlosion raid event was the weekend before, but at this point, pretty much any weekend you're going to have an event like this going. However, 7 of these Cyndaquils and Typhlosions were hacked, and if you were to take away hacked Pokemon, then it would be a tie with them and Evolutions for first place. And Charmander would also drop down to number 6 if you took away the hacked Charizards. But taking a look at our top 10, it definitely raises the question, where is Quaxly? Unfortunately, Quaxly is the odd one out, the only starter Pokemon to receive less than 10 trades, and I only got 4 of them. Just kind of sad, where's the love for our fellow Burb? But at least that left more room for diversity in the trades. From this trading, I would have been able to fill out the dex entries for all but 35 Pokemon. That is, if I would breed and evolve everything that I got. The main things that were missing missing were version exclusives or the more painful Pokemon to find, and of course, the legendaries. But surprisingly, I didn't get all of the Paradox Pokemon. I would have expected to with how much trading I was doing, and the sad thing is half the ones I did get were hacked. So if you want to do a good deed today, get out there, catch some Paradox Pokemon, and start surprise trading them. As for me, I'm definitely done surprise trading for a while, and I'm definitely done with grinding to level 100 for the foreseeable future. I'll probably just max out on candies for later, and then I'll never want to see another Blissey raid ever again. But thanks a bunch to you guys for watching, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. And do me a favor and hit the bell icon, because my last video, YouTube just didn't recommend it. The click-through rate, view duration, everything was fine, it just wasn't getting recommended. And you should watch it, it's a good video. But thank you guys once again for all of the support on the channel so far, it's been truly amazing. That'll be it from me. I have been Trevor, I go by Trails, and I will catch you guys next time.